Senate President Aquilino Pimentel III, and the members of the Senate, Pantaleon Alvarez, the Speaker, and the members of the House of Representatives, Vice President Maria Leonor Robredo, former President Fidel Ramos, Joseph Estrada, and former President Gloria Arroyo, Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno of the Supreme Court, and the members, of course, Archbishop Pinto, and the distinguished guests of the Diplomatic Corps, Secretary Salvador Medaldia, and the members of the Cabinet, my fellow workers in government, my countrymen. When I took my oath of office a year or so ago, I knew that our country was reeling from a multitude of problems. That day, there was euphoria in the air resulting from a successful campaign, and the thought that dominated my being was to make good on my promise to the people to bring change about. Change in government, not a change that is passing, but a change that can survive the test of time. Although I still had to know the magnitude and gravity of the problems, my feeling then was that equipped with the political will embraced by a concerned citizenry, those problems would eventually be bested by us. It was only a matter of determination and collective action. It was only a question of time. For as I saw it then, as I see it now, there is no problem in the world which can stop the march of a people with unflinching and tenacious determination. That was how euphoric it has been. Early on, I felt that if change was to be meaningful, it had to start with those occupying the highest position in government, because change that comes from below is more transitory than permanent. I was aiming for peace on permanence. Let change trickle down from the bottom. It has to be change that is not confined merely to the replacement of people by people, but a change in the people's attitude, disposition, and work ethic. Sadly, although we knew years ago that what was needed or ought to do, we did not do because our idea of government was parochial and we could not rise above family, ethnic, and clan loyalties, as well as loyalty to friends and co-workers. No one wanted to be snitched. That is why we are one in saying that genuine change is what this country truly needs. I believe then, as I believe still, that progress and development will sputter if criminals, illegal drugs, illegal users of drugs are allowed to roam on the streets freely, victimizing seemingly with impunity the innocent, the helpless. Worse yet, there were times when in the past when the protectors of the people were themselves the perpetrators of the very crimes they were tasked to prevent or suppress. It is ironic as it is madness. I have learned that the economy surges only when there is peace and order prevailing in places where investors can pour their capital and expertise. I have learned from my experience in Davao City that investor confidence bolstered and fortified only if a potent force and mechanism for protection of local and foreign investments are in place. That is why I have resolved that no matter how long it takes, the fight against illegal drugs will continue because that is the root cause of so much evil and so much suffering that weakens the social fabric and deters foreign investments from pouring in. The fight will be unremitting as it will be unrelenting. Despite international and local pressures, the fight will not stop until those who deal in it understand that they have to cease, they have to stop, because the alternative are either jail or hell. And I will make sure, very sure, that they will not have the luxury of enjoying the benefits of their greed and madness. I do not intend to loosen the leash in the campaign or lose the fight against illegal drugs. Neither do I intend to preside over the destruction of the Filipino youth by being timid and tentative in my decisions and actions. To the critics against the fight, your efforts will be better spent if you use the influence, moral authority, and ascendancy of your organizations over your respective sectors to educate the people on the evil of illegal drugs, instead of condemning the authorities unjustly, blaming for every killing that bloodies this country. But don't get me wrong, I value human life the way I value mine. Each life that is snuffed out translates into future generations' loss. It is like cracking the acorn from which an oak tree grows, which in turn produces the seeds to complete the complete cycle of perpetuity. There is a jungle out there. There are beasts and vultures preying on the helpless, the innocent, the unsuspecting. I will not allow the ruin of the youth, the disintegration of families, and the retrogression of communities forced by criminals whose greed for money is as insatiable as it is devoid of moral purpose. Neither will I be mobilized into inaction by the fear that I will commit an act that will expose me to public condemnation or legal prosecution. You harm the children in whose hands the future of this republic is entrusted, and I will hound you to the very gates of hell. That is why I ask you to join me in this fight against illegal drugs and all forms of criminality. The government equipped with legal authority and you, the moral ascendancy over the sector you represent, can do so much and hopefully eradicate the social scourge that plagues us to no end. Look beyond your biases your prejudices, your ambition, your political agenda. The search for change will begin and end only when we look into ourselves and find it within. Today, a multitude of problems confronts us. No sooner is one problem solved, another surges forth in its place. But we will not be disheartened. We will not be cowed. We will not be overwhelmed. It is during trying times and troubled events that the resilience, perseverance, and determination of the people are tested. The Filipino is no stranger or new fight to situations like the one we face today. We can and we will overcome, as we did countless of times in the past, only if together towards a common goal. Sad to say, despite all efforts, peace, especially in the island of Mindanao, continues to elude us. But of course, it is not the peace of the dead, but the peace of the living that we seek. Peace flits away like a butterfly when you try to snatch it by the wings. And our pursuit of peace continues. The Red Insurgency has been with us for decades, the Muslim issue for centuries. So much time has lapsed, so many lives have been lost, and so much destruction has been wrought. But peace eludes us still. Sometimes, I am almost tempted to conclude that peace might not be able to come during our lifetime. But believe me, it will not be for want of trying. And I will persist in our goal of attaining peace to the last day of this administration and maybe even beyond, although in a different capacity. There is rebellion in Mindanao. The extremists have declared it their purpose to establish a caliphate within Philippine territory along the teachings and beliefs of an Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, or otherwise known as ISIS. The Battle of Marawi has dealt a terrible blow to our quest for peace, especially now that an alien ideology and a radical shift in purpose have been injected into the local setting. I declared martial law in Mindanao because I believe that that was the fastest way to quell the rebellion at the least cost of lives and properties. At the same time, the government would be adequately equipped with the constitutional tool not only to prevent the escape of rebels who can easily mingle and pretend to be civilian evacuees only to regroup in another place to fight another day, but also to prevent them from spreading the gospel of hate and violence in the rest of Mindanao. Martial law and the suspension of the writ of habeas corpus enable the military to arrest, detain, and question suspected members and sympathizers of rebellion, similar to what happened to the parents of the Maote brothers. As President, I am reiterating my unwavering support and commitment to the soldiers of our armed forces and members of the police force. Those who are on the ground and in the battlefields, and those who are risking their lives for our country and our democracy. I have your backs. To those who oppose and think that all these are efforts that are out of order, I hold myself, me and me alone, should be responsible. The people of Marawi need help. Caught in the crossfire between government troops and Muslim extremists, they have been through hell, and we need to help them rise and move forward. If we cannot provide for the poor and the needy, who are many, then we will not be able to keep from harm the rich, who are few. On the vanguard of our struggle for peace and order are our armed forces and police. They are the silent heroes who risk their lives every day for our country's security. And in recognition of their valor, we have crafted a program to provide them comprehensive social assistance, including financial, should they meet harm in the performance of their duty. For the family left behind by those who fell or are rendered totally disabled in the line of duty, we shall provide shelter, health, care assistance, education, and employment. That is my way of telling our troops, never fear, do your duty, I stand behind you. So does this government and all its agencies. To decisively address insurgency and terrorism, we are working doubly hard towards a stronger and more credible national defense system for the country. We continue to strengthen the defense capability of the AFP as a deterrence against terrorist, lawless elements, and other threats. My fellow citizens, what I have said so far about events in Marawi and its neighboring environs is only a part of the looming problem, which will cut across all classes and all sectors of society and eventually affect the entire country, from north to south, from east to west. Given the fact that Mindanao supplies a great deal part of our country's requirements, food requirements, I refer to climate change, which could bring drought, long dry spells, affecting food production in Mindanao. Given the fact that Mindanao is unusually warming, I ask all agencies involved in food production to look into this and act accordingly. Also, I am appealing to all our legislators to immediately pass the National Land Use Act, or NALUA, to ensure the rational and sustainable use of our land and our physical resources, given the competing needs of food, security, housing, business, and environmental conservation. Ours is a rich country. World that this country is almost endowed with a gift from God to be utilized for the welfare and the common good. I do not believe that this gift was given to us to be merely viewed or appreciated, but to be extracted from the earth and utilized to make life worth living. That is why I say that it is not enough that we mine this wealth. What is more important is that we convert the raw material thereof into finished products for international and local purposes. That way, it will not only be the few who are the rich, but also the poor who are many who will benefit therefrom. Therefore, I call on our industries, investors, commercial barons, to put up factories and manufacturing establishment right here in the Philippines to process our raw materials into finished products. At this point in my administration, if possible, we shall put to a stop the extraction and exportation of our mineral resources to foreign nations for processing abroad and importing them back to the Philippines in a form of consumer goods at prices twice or thrice the value of the original raw materials which foreign corporations pay for them. However, in the extraction and utilization of these resources, extreme care must be exercised, that we do not recklessly and needlessly harm the environment. Responsible and regulated and sustainable development is what we advocate and require. The protection of the environment must be made a priority ahead of mining and all other activities that adversely affect one way or the other, and this policy is non-negotiable. I sternly am warning all mining operations and contractors to refrain from the unbridled and irresponsible destruction of our watersheds, forests, and aquatic resources. You have gained much from mining. You only get about 70 billion a year. But you have considerably neglected your responsibility to protect and preserve. And even the tax is about 5%. Environment for posterity. I am holding all mining companies and its officials responsible for the full and quick cleanup, restoration, rehabilitation, all areas damaged by mining activities, and the extension of all necessary support to the communities that have suffered mining disastrous effects of their health, livelihood, environment, among others. Ganito yan eh. Medyo alis muna ako dyan sa sakit ang mata ko dyan sa yawa niya. Alam mo, you have a mining. I have to grant you a mining because you have complied with all the requirements of the law. And I cannot I'd be subject to imandamos if everything is perfect. And you have every right to mine. But in doing so, you destroy the rivers. You destroy the streams from which the poor people fish. Haluan or mudfish, and that is protein for them. Ngayon, makita mo naman, not only Gina Lopez gave you a clear picture of what was happening horrendously. Nakita mo kay Ted Falion. Yung kay Ted Falion, talagang nanood ako. 2 beses. And I realized that I have to do something about it as a Filipino. Alam mo, okay na yung mining. Subsidiary ka lang ng isang another giant corporation. Or you are a sister company of a telecommunication. Hindi kayo magugutom. But look at the picture shown to you. For once, they behave correctly, ang ABS-CBN. Tignan mo yung pelikula ni Ted Filon. I salute him for coming with this. You see the palayan, ang palayan tumuyo at ang soil nag-crack. So the farmers cannot eat anymore. They are reduced to the garbage of what you can get there, salvage anything and sell it to this crop. Ganun ang nangyari sa Pilipino. Hindi ko kayo kalaban. As a matter of fact, you give government almost 70 billion. Pero actually, maliit lang yan. Ngayon, nakikita ninyo itong mga palayan na tumutuyo. And the rivers, wala ng isda. The only source of protein. Hindi ka naman pwedeng maghunting. May makita kang eagle dyan, barilin mo, priso ka, pakainin mo yung... So, saan mo try to go out. Sumama tayo, kayo sa akin. And try to see how hard it is for them to survive. Ito ang gusto mo, ganito ang pangyari. Total, sobra-sobra naman yung pera ninyo, address. Totoo lang. Mayor ako, I can look at your corporate earnings, your sister company, I can pierce the corporate identity, kayo rin pala. Aniwid niya sa mga newspaper. When you are not supposed to, pag in newspaper ka, you are supposed to be 100% Filipino. And yet, when you start to pierce their identity, it is pala wholly owned by Americans. Gano'n na nangyari yan. Just a matter of piercing the... So, wala masyado ako. ABS, Rappler, kayo ba yan? Have you tried to pierce your identity and it would lead you to America? Do you know that? And yet the Constitution requires you to be 100% media Filipino. Rappler, try to pierce the identity and you will end up American ownerships. Kung kayo mga mayaman na kayo, may mining company, ito ang deal ko sa inyo. Either I will raise the taxes. Ang kumikita niyan, i-reserve ko to compensate for those who are suffering and in agony. You come up with an idea. You have to come up with a substitute. Either spend to restore the virginity of their source, or I will tax you to death. Kasi yung taxes makuha ko, talagang ibubuhos ko. Ngayon, if you can make an arrangements, an inventory of yung nasira, yung mga taong nagutom, but yung river nila, wala nang makuha because you know guys, may mga taga-Davao, we are new to it. We are not new to it. You want to see horror in your lifetime? Akong bahala. NPA, wag muna kayong pag-gara-gara dyan, away-away kayo, magpunta kami. Samahin ko sila. You stop you. Puro hambog lang kayo dyan. Punta tayo doon sa Diwalwal. Doon sa ball mills, and I will show you the river. Up there at the source, it's so pristine. But doon sa, right at the start of the boundary where the millings are started, the water there is not clear. It is not brown. It is black. Your 1 peso will win 1 million from me if I am lying. O gusto mo, isamo ko kayo bukas doon. Ngayon, pag tinarget na yung mga gagong NPA na yan, problema natin na lahat. Sabay-sabay na lang tayo. Bakante ang presidency, bakante ang senado, pati ang congressman. Pero totoo yan. You should visit them. Even the first spade full of earth that you extract and throw it away of no use, tabi mo lang yan dyan because it's an open pit. You dig and dig and dig. Is already the first Spader is de-decreation of Mother Earth. Ano ang isa pang galit sa mining? Si Speaker. He comes from a mining town but he hates mining. Ako naman, kasi mga kaibigan ko yung iba, yung mga classmate ko, mga vice president ng mining, punta sila dito, but I use this, it reduces into something, the damage that you have caused. It's not about our friendship. It's not about years of being in the same room. It's not being fraternity brothers. But it is something that, gano'n yan eh. Alam mo yung martial law, I'm not so much endeavor, sabihin ninyo na hindi nyo ibigay, okay lang. Wala akong problema dyan. Baski sabihin nyo na tama na, then I will still fight. The way I will fight the war. If it is not acceptable to the normal of civilian conduct, then I am sorry. Because I am not fighting a civilian war. I am stopping violence and rebellion. Hindi talaga ako. Ibigay man ninyo, hindi bali sa akin, wala. Because ako, I do not intend to go beyond my term. Kasi matter of fact, mas gusto ko barilin ako doon sa likod. Dito. Hindi masyado ako itong bilib itong trabaho ito. Akala ko, bilib ako. Pagdating ko, alitse. Sakit ng ulo. Ito na kayong kuha, nakikinig kayo. Wala akong pinirmahan ni isa. Putang ina yan. Na pagparap, pagkain. Hindi pagkain kung kayo sa opisina. Bayaran ninyo yan. Maglabas ako. I do not collect anything. I do not remember. I do not sign anything there until now. Wala akong allowance, wala akong tinatanggap lahat except my salary. Tapos 2 pamilya pa ang maghati. Ano mo masama yan? Sige, pakpak dyan. Lahat naman tayo. I can count by not even the 2 hands. 1 hand lang na exempted sa rule na yan. 2, 3, 4, 5. Lukuhin ninyo. Ba tayo pa ba maglukuhan? Just because this is Congress, it has to be a secret. Wala kahit ng mga to. Pareho kami lahat yan. Ayaw pa tumawa. Kunwari. So, I will increase the taxes. Then I will think of something that will compensate or make up for the damage, or at least the income restored. Yeah, otherwise, I'll have to stop mining. I will ask you to stop it. It's not good. We are a small group of islands. Hindi naman marami. The coastal, marami yan. Kasi maraming paikot-ikot. But if you were in a contiguous territory, maliit lang tayo. And yet, you must remember that there are so many billions of the future generations waiting in the stratosphere. Ang gusto ninyo para hindi na kayo magdamay, huminto na kayo ng ano. Then let us go to, because this is not in here. How about the billions and billions and billions of Filipinos that will come after us? Kawawa naman. They'll have to scratch Mother Earth to eat. By this time, kung walang upheaval, no regeneration will occur. We are almost like talagang ginagano natin, maliit na lang ang makuha nila. Ba't maawa naman kayo? Makikita mo yung apo mo kung ganun mo na lang. Kung ganun mo na lang yung embrace mo yung apo mo sa pangalawang asawa. Yung isang, ganun rin. Di ba? Di ba, sir? Suntukin kita dyan ngayon, liar ka. Finally, let me make this appeal to those directly engaged in mining. Declare your correct income, pay your correct taxes. Believe me, your failure to do so will be your undoing and eventual ruin. Hindi na ako makatakbo, matanda na ako. I don't think I'll even survive the 5 years. Pero pagka sinabi ko, upakan talaga kita. To our employees and officials, the LGUs tasked with monitoring these mining operations within their territorial jurisdictions. Do your job without fear or favor. Absolutely responsible you for any misdeed or failure in the mining entities that do not comply or comply with the guidelines, rules, and regulations governing mining operations and activities within your area of responsibility. I mean it. Do not try to test my resolve. Absolutely, I have nothing to lose except my life. While we can control the acts of man, no one can control to stop on the fury and the rampage of weather, gone wild. When nature fights back, it does so with a vengeance. We have seen that the terrible toll that the super typhoon Yolanda and the succeeding typhoons exacted in terms of human life and property. And we still have to recover from the beating that we got both during and in the aftermath of those mega typhoons. Aside from droughts, tempests, and other problems, taking ship, which according to the OST Philbox, it is no longer just a distant possibility, but a probability earthquakes. The series of damaging quakes in Leyte, Surigao, and nearby provinces and islands attest to this. We were told that it is no longer a question of if, but a matter of when. Thus, we need to act decisively and fast because the threat is huge, real, and imminent. Come to think of it, really. Is there, they say that there is no perfect instrument or human acumen can really predict earthquakes. I hope it will not come. Kasi kung magdating, sabi dito lang yung big one, I hope it would be just in the mountains and in the rural areas. Because if it's right, sabihin nila, tinatakot nila ang, kasi andito in this speech, I reviewed it last night. I am calling both houses of Congress to expeditiously draft a law establishing a new authority or department that is responsive to the prevailing 21st century conditions and empower to best deliver the enhanced disaster resiliency and quick disaster response. While the law is crafted with extreme urgency, we need to undertake immediate action to ensure disaster resiliency and effective response in the greater Manila area, which is our country's seat of governance, center of business, commerce, and academe. Disaster resiliency of Metro Manila and the surrounding provinces is a matter of urgent concern. Yan, nandito, yan, tinatakot nila dito because of the high-rise buildings and ilang tao nakatira dyan. Kung kaya ka ito sa isang sinkhole, I mean, if it cracks and it goes down, can we still manage to go up? God, wag ngayon ha, kaya nandito ako. Hintayin mo lang sila dito nag-aaway. I am directing the Cabinet Cluster on Climate Change and Adaptation and Disaster Risk Management to immediately work hand in hand with the concerned LGUs, the private sector, and the affected communities themselves in undertaking disaster measures, antidotes. We will need to act and fast. With the foregoing said, what then is the state of the nation today? I will mince no words, and neither will I window dress the situation. We are in. Let me answer into brief sentences. We are in for trouble because we live in troubled and uncertain times. And I feel that things might get worse before they become better. But like I said, I hope we will cope. We hope and pray. The West Philippine Sea issue and federalism are matters that we have to tackle sooner or later. On the other hand, despite the recent gains in improving the peace and order situation in the country, there is still so much to be desired, and if we are to completely eradicate the menace of illegal drugs, criminality, and corruption, we must do it. I therefore ask Congress to act on all pending legislations to reimpose death penalty on the heinous crimes, especially in the trafficking of illegal drugs. There is a There is a short clip of CNN about people in Massachusetts. Was it there? Yung clip nila nga pinakita. Tinignan, pakitingin na, it's repeated for almost every week ata yung mga short clip. Tingnan mo yung mga tao doon na hinayaan nilang They are there, they live under the bridge. They're getting thin, they're doing nothing. Pag gano'n lang sila, tapos popos na ano. And there are aplenty there. They do not work, wala. Tapos sabi nung UN, is he here? Are you there, yung UN representative? Na sinabi mo na sabok will not affect the brain. Are you here? Raise your right hand if you're here. Do not worry. I will just, do not, the word, delude us into yung mga ano ninyo na, but we know every day that one family rape, dalawa, all are dead. Then you trivialize it with human rights and due process. Okay ako niyan. When you go into an anger, you burst with rage, okay yan. But with so many killings as brutal and as cruel as what happened, if you add human rights and due process, you stink and your mouth smells. If you want to criticize, condemn the act, stop there. But do not give the excuse or do not make it trivial by saying human rights at least must be protected. Yan ang pinakabugok magawa ng isang tao. When you criticize, stick on one topic. Then you find an event where you can talk about human rights and due process. But do not talk about it at the same time when there is a carnage and you begin to blabber, talk about human rights. Lalong nagagalit ang tao. Ngayon, may namatay dyan, kakalak mo sino man. What have you done in the name of human rights? 77, you have the records. You can summon the police. 77 before I became president. All drug-related, 77,000. And you trivialize that with a conference, at saka pumunta dito, ang tatanungin yung nasa prisuhan. Na pinriso dahil just imagine, I challenge you. You want a debate in public? Okay, we'll have it. I will challenge you how also you trivialize the thing by binibigyan yung importansya si dilema. You all know, you will all hear, you conducted the investigation. You heard the witnesses. You saw the videos. Is she a credible woman? Can she be a moral person? Hirap na rin. Puro kayo drama dyan sa... When you talk about that incident, talk about it, then condemn the police. But do not connect it with due process and human rights. Magbuka kang gago sa harap ng Pilipino. You know why I got this rating? I could not be brighter than you. And my work is not more important, or your vocation is not less than mine. But when you talk in public, carry the proper message. Kaya mag-itito kayo, binibombahan kasi ako ninyo ng ganon. Sabihin na ng mga tao, tama yan. Tama yan si Duterte. Kasi nangyayari. Kayo parang fruit samp, ganon-ganon. Pag na may namatay dyan ng maraming massacre, na rape mga bata, hindi kayo umiimik. Maya-maya pagdating ng mga... Pagdating nitong mga Western expert ko, no, you give them so much premium and importance. Puta, saan ba ang utak ninyo eh? Bakit kayo believe dyan sa puti? Tingnan mo ang puti. Panahon ni Obama. Una yung spokesman ng State Department. Kala mo sino? Kala na mas bright pa sila sa akin. Then the staff of the President, then Obama. I would like to remind Mr. Duterte that the policy of the CNN. Yari ako. Pagdating ni Trump, oh yes, Mr. President, I've been expecting your call. You're doing it all right. I'm doing the date and this goddamn... Uwi na ako. So, that's the value of the country that you value. Ambivalent. Parang electric fan. Okay dito, hindi na okay. It's vacillating. Tapos kayong mga Indian, believe kayo. Hindi ko talaga maintindihan Pilipino. It takes for an American to say that I'm a son of a bitch. And it takes an American to say, oh, you're great, you're a hero in your country. O saan ako pumunta nito ngayon? It is time for us to fulfill our mandate to protect our people from these crimes that have victimized. You know, wag ninyo akong takot-takotin yung preso yung International Court of Justice. Shit, I'm willing to go to prison for the rest of my life. Ang importante sa akin, ginawa ko yung gusto ko. Alam mo kasi, in this country, it is a rule of majority. I did it for the 50 plus 1. Because in a vote of 100, I get 51. 50 plus 1. 50 is 1 up. 1, that is majority of 1. I win. Yung 49, yun yung mga, I do not have to make them happy. But when the time comes, kung malasin ako, pupunta ako sa prison, do not worry about me. I can take it. Nung maliit pa ako, labas rin pasok ako sa... Wala pa yung luni, Pangilinan, labas-pasok na ako sa prisuhan. Kunin yung record ninyo sa police doon sa Davao. Takot na. He will be prosecuted. Hoy, abogado ako. Well, because I will... sabi ko nga, everybody is entitled to come here and question me. But I have to question you also. At para magaling, let us make it official. We go to court. We tell the judge that we are hearing by a international body. Can we have it judicially recorded? And now we place them under oath. Mahuli ko matalaga yan sila. May pinatay ako, tama yan. When I was mayor, a little over, for 23 years ako mayor ng Davao. Pagkita mo ang Davao ngayon, we have been LGUs before. What city is now hitting 9 growth %? Eh, nandoon pa kami sa Mindanao, binubumba pa kami sa Davao. Davao is 9 growth. Oh, tapos sabihin nyo, ngayon, paano i-9 mo, palabas mo itong 9 ng you're about to hit 6 or sabi nila. Pero pakayaan mo lang ako, mag-abot ito ng 21. The highest in the world. Kayo lang tigapigil eh. It is time for us to fulfill our money to protect. Tapos na yan. Kindly, for so long we have to act decisively on this contentious issue. Capital punishment is not only about deterrence, it is also about retribution. Make no mistake about that. Iba kasi ako eh. Let us understand each other, including the international community. Our criminal system uses the revised penal code. That is a law that was given to us by the Spaniards. The original revised penal code, though it was translated into English. And those, in those about 2 books, 3 books, that are the definition of crimes and the penalties and everything. And the thrust of that revised penal code, ladies and gentlemen, is the essence of retribution. That is why you have penalty. There is also the word positivisture, that you can nurture a criminal into goodness, provided he goes to prison for 2 years, 3 years. He's released, he's a sex offender. When he goes out, he rapes again, kidnaps another girl, and makes her a hostage for so many years. Ganon kayo eh. Admit it, ganon kayo. You are so too lenient about this son of a bitch, a human being that has a virulent brain, and his enemy is society. And many a times, there were sex offenders in America released, only to rape and kidnap again and kill in just a few months after release. In the Philippines, it is really an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You took a life, then you must pay it with life. That is the only way to even. You cannot place a premium on the human mind that he will go straight. Nobody can. Not even your best scientist. No one has ever fathomed how a person would react, especially in committing crimes. That's the only way to do it, to instill fear. That if you do it, you will die. That's the advantage of criminals and rebels and terrorists. Because they think that you are afraid to die. That's why when I went to Marawi, I was asked by the media, why are you here? I am here because my soldiers are here. And I came here to die also. Because in a battle, in a fierce encounter, you have to be of equal equanimity. Gusto siyang mamatay, gusto ko rin mamatay. Ano sa atin? They say that they use the name of God. In the Christians, we have the same thing. I read the Ecclesiastes 3. What does it say? Even during elections. There is a time to be great and a time for defeat. A time to be in disguise, emblazoned there, and a time to be known as somebody. A time to have money, a time to be hard up. A time to just walk so many kilometers to school, and a time for graduation and being a lawyer. A time to be, I don't know what I am now, but there's always a time. Ganon yan. So I will match you. Pag sinabi mo, gusto kong mamatay, anak ka ng dalawa tayo. That's why this bully, I had dinner with them sa bayan. Itong NDF, because I used to be friends really with the NDF. I was crossing the by ideological borders before. Ako yung nakakapasok sa teritoryo. We were friends really. But times have changed because God placed me here. And I take over a republic, take care of a republic. Ganon. Sabi na doon, bully daw ako. Tarantado pa lang kayo. Talagang bully ako. Putang ina. Talagang bully ako, especially to the enemies of the state. Talagang bully ako. Ito pa, sabi ko sa mga sundalo, yung mga human rights na you're flying everywhere, anywhere yung utak ninyo. I said, take no prisoners, which is kill them. Which is correct. But you don't listen to my speech. This media, lalo na itong mga ABS, kunin lang yung kill them. Yan ang problema ninyo, kaya minura ko kayo. Walang presidente na pinutang ina kayo because you are not behaving. Now you are asking me for talk. When you publish in the newspaper or quote us in media, itong mga reporters would only quote, kill them. I said, kill them. In a fight, if you have to shoot them at the heart or the head. Sabi ko, why? Because they will be detained here in Marawi. Wala tayong prisuhan. Ngayon, and the courts will always insist that they will be, that's the law, that they will be tried and detained in the place where they committed the crime. Kaya huwag kayong mapatayin talaga ninyo, kasi ilagay natin yan dyan sa barracks natin dyan sa ating mechanized division. Pag iskapo niyan, dalhin yung kanyo natin, ipaputok pa sa atin. Marami, how many jail ano tawag dito, jailbreak in Mindanao. In Cotabato alone, 6. Cotabato City, 4. Ang jail doon nire-raid tapos pinapalabas. Alam ba ninyo yan? Because you do not publish. Or ito mga tagamay nila, hindi kayo, mga bright kayo, believe ako. Mga gonggong. Sabi na, why? What happened last April in Davao? It was bombed. How many were killed? 27. Few years ago, the church was bombed twice. How many died? 59. The airport, just as the people were coming out of the departure arrival, it was bombed. How many died? 32. In the wharf, three nuns were lining up there. I have to scoop the brain of the nun to put it in a can because the face was shattered. Zamboanga. And you say that the violation is only in Marawi. Turpi. Talaga kayo nagboto. Mag-usap tayo ngayon. Dalhin po kayo doon sa mga biyuda. Kailan lang yun? Kung sabihin na it's only in Marawi, rebellion has been going on in Mindanao. Walang pinasanto doon. Hindi lang yung binabasa ng gusto. Kasi it's very porous. Kung separate islands yan, baby. Kung separate yan, very porous, they can go. And Mindanao, this is not to... The Moro has nothing to do. Pareho tayo. Pareho tayo Maranao. So, just shut up. Huwag kayong ito ang totoo. Maraming Muslim sa Mindanao. Lahat. Sa Abra, mayroon. In this fight, why do you think the Moro would side? Kung patayan, they will side with government? Kung ako ngayon, kung nakatira ako, hindi kami umalis ng... Di ako dinalang nanay ko sa labas. I'll be a resident of Marawi. What do you think will be my sentiment? Solo, Davao, puro Muslim ang clubs yan. There are ang clubs. Parang baryo-baryo. Pag nagsentimento ang putukan, magputok yan sabay-sabay. And another thing I'll talk it about in the conference. Sumobra itong left. Magawa ka ng bahay, nakawin. Sabi ko yung sundalo, do not force the issue. I will just build yours. Bigay mo na lang. And may project ngayon, gusto naman nilang kumatin. Do not commit that mistake. Here and I will tell you, including the Congress of the Republic of the Philippines. You do anarchy, I will order the soldiers and the police to shoot. Even if I have to bury 1,000 Filipinos. Huwag ninyo akong ganunin. Either let us understand this beginning today. Either we have laws in this country or we do not. We enforce the laws against the minors and the rich, but I will also enforce laws against anarchy, disturbance, and create trouble. Kayo rin, natatakot ninyo. Takutin ninyo ako na occupy the streets. Anak ng meeting. You stay there, you ask for 2 days, I will give you 6 months. Huwag kayong umalis dyan. Kainin ninyo pati yung dumi ninyo dyan. Magtakot-takutin mo ang gobyerno. I'm sorry I've exceeded my time, but kailangan ko sabihin para maintindihan din na total na nandito na lang rin ako sa media, nakikinig pati lahat. Kayong mga left, I will not talk to you. Why should I? Wag mo na akong pilitin na magpatayo kayo mga pro-poor, shut up. Wait for 2 years. because I have, this is my proposal. I may be totally wrong, and I will accept it, but this is mine. From now on, I will save money for the armed forces of the Philippines. We have lost so much soldiers. And there are thousands already incapacitated to fight. Pati yung pulis ko, araw-araw ninyong inaambos. Pati ang convoy ko, kasi doon ako magsakay, inambos nila. Pati ako ang gagom, pati ako patay nila. Sabagay, malayo ako doon. Pero convoy ko kasi yun eh. Hindi lang ako doon sa Alam mo, ginamitan nyo ng machine gun. Kaya lang armorized. Kaya yung mga congressman, senador na ayaw ninyong, baka may kalaban kayo, asawa ba ninyo yung katira ninyo ngayon? O inagaw ninyo? Pa-armorize ninyo. Totoo, proven M60. Alright. Si Todrelon, M60 sir. Hindi talaga tumaanas. Kasi binara na nila. Nasira na lang yung barang. Hindi talaga nila. And the soldiers inside will order all the time. Minamasinggan na, hindi tatalab. Kaya magago pati yung convoy ko. May ambusin. Hindi nila alam na nakasibat na ako. Kung gusto niyo ako mag-usap kayo na, sumubra kayo, ikaw season, mag-inom ka ng yung orange. Matanda ka na, kayong Pilipinas na kinig, buong Pilipinas, kayong mga bata, kayong mga lumad natives. Ito matatanda na ito. Season is sick. May colon cancer. Ang gastos ng Norway, sumurrender na siya. Kasi naging issue sa politika. This government who sponsored those, who provided the good offices, matatalo sa election dahil sa issue dyan. Kasi pabalik-balik ang mga buang kala mo, mga turista. Wala na ang pinag-usapan. Pagdating dito, gusto ng ganito, gusto ng ganito. Lo mo. Huwag mong sabihin yung meaning doon sa mga bisita. Pura na ko ba? Talagang ako, sir? Masyadong demanding. Hindi naman kayo nanalo ng election si minsan. You cannot even hang out to a barangay. And you keep on killing people. Hindi lang yung mga pulis, pati yung mga civilians na ayaw magsali sa kanila. Kaya sabi ko talaga, buang ka. Ang sinabi ko talaga, pardon po siya, pinutang ina ko talaga siya. The other day sa Davao. Sino tinatakot ninyo? Katanda-tanda na ninyo eh. At tayo mamatay, kayong mga na iwan dyan sa karsada, mabuti pa umuwi kayo. Wala kayong makuha dyan sa komunista. Do you think that if the ISIS prevails in this country, that you will have a place in their society? You must be openly stupid. As stupid. Wala kayong makuha. Lahat ay damay. Thank you for allowing the exhaust dito. In our sustained effort to achieve just and lasting peace, Class, be courteous. Do not make a noise. The visitors are listening. Just and lasting peace. For United Nations, we are pursuing an inclusive peace process in promoting the participation of all stakeholders, including those conflict-affected areas. We took steps to promote inclusiveness in the Bangsamoro Transmission Commission by expanding its membership to Executive Order Number 8, which I signed in November last year, by giving representation to indigenous peoples, women, children, and sultanates, and key stakeholders in the drafting of the Bangsa Basic Law. We ensure a Bangsamoro government that truly reflects the aspirations of our Muslim brothers and sisters as well as our indigenous brethren. We have embarked on various initiatives to advance our national interests in the global community. We pursue good relations with all nations anchored on an independent foreign policy and the basic tenets of sovereign equality, mutual respect, and non-interference. ASEAN independent nation will uphold and promote our national interests in the international community. We will strengthen and seek partnership with those who share our values. We will engage nations with full respect for the rule of law, sovereign equality, and again, non-interference. These are the principles that we are upholding as we advance towards this year for the meeting as the chair of the ASEAN. We have cultivated warmer relations with China through bilateral dialogues and other mechanisms, leading to easing of tensions between the two countries and improved negotiating environment on the West Philippine Sea. At this point, allow me to take a step back in time in 1901. In 1901, there was known as Balingiga, and that is Eastern Samar. It was the time for Philippine-American War. A combined group of Filipino villagers and guerrillas in an effort to defend Samar Island from the alien invaders attacked and overwhelmed a U.S. United States infantry garrison. 48 American officers and men were slain in the attack. On the Filipino side, the casualty count was 28 killed and 22 wounded. In retaliation, U.S. gunboats and patrols were sent to Balingiga, Samar, with the order to make a desert of Balingiga and to reduce Samar Island into an island of howling wilderness, where every male citizen from the age of 10 and above and capable of bearing arms would be put to death. The church bells of Balingiga were seized by Demergans as spoils of war. Those bells are reminders of the gallantry and heroism of our forebears, who resisted the American colonizers and sacrificed their lives in the process. Krag against Bolo. Krag was the standard rifle issue to the American troops. And that is how the historians describe. Nauna ka, pababa mo. Baba mo, tapataas yan. Mahirap talaga itong director ka, ikaw pa ang speech. Ministers describe, sige, the Philippine-American War. That is why I say today, Give us back those bilingual bells. They are ours. They belong to the Philippines. They are part of our national heritage. Isauli naman ninyo, masakit yun sa amin. We not talk about our overseas Filipinos. They are our heroes. They and their families have sacrificed much for the country. We all know how a large part of our economy comes from their remittances. That is why, to ensure that their rights are protected, I ordered the increase of our assistance to the OFW from 400 million to more than 1 billion. We have been hard at work in securing the rights and welfare of our OFW. A year ago, I also learned government officials and employees that I will never tolerate corruption in my administration, not even a whiff of it. Let the dismissal of several higher-ranking officials, whom I myself appointed, serve as a warning to all that I will never back down on my commitment to cleanse this government and corporation. In order to bring government services closer to the people, establish hotlines, government centers that receive public concerns. One of which is the hotline 911, which allowed us to receive and immediately respond to emergencies. We also launched hotline 8888, the Citizens Complaint Hotline. This is a public hotline facility that receives feedbacks or concerns on government services. Since we launched this hotline, we have received numerous complaints from the public on government slow government processing, unclear of changing procedures and requirements, centralized issuances of clearance and permits in Metro Manila, and discourteous government employees, among others. Meron ito eh. Time and again, yung pagtransact ng ordinaryo, the ordinary people who don't track business in government. In the last ASEAN Ministerial Conference, I don't know why Malacan has to, my office has to do some work for all the others, like itong mga barong. It's always that outfit takes care of the attires that will be given to the ministerials, this time to the heads of state. Alam mo, I'd like to address this myself to government. Yan bang bayaran? Pabalik-balikin ninyo ang tao. I know that because I've been mayor for 22 years. I never allowed it in my city. But dito, alam mo yung mga sastre, dyan sa Paranaque hanggang Cavite, yung mga tiluring dyan, ang negosyo lang yan involved. Boy Scout, teachers uniform, Girl Scouts, naghahabol yan sila ng mga kontrata. And they are just the stores that you find along the way until Cavite. They group together during times of ganito, may ASEAN, and they look for a person to represent them. This is not no offense intended, but usually they look for beautiful women, young, who would do the talking, arrangement, because it's the reality of life. But the beautiful women gets the attention always. Tapos, pag na-deliver na nila, nasukatan na, pabalik-balikin ninyo. And right there in Malacanang, it happened. So I will fire the lady, whoever was connected with it. as I have fired everybody else. A cabinet member for buying an 18 million truck in Austria. That was not our contract. It was contract of the previous administration. 14 of those 18 million were already delivered. This cabinet member was, I was informed about, and I said his legal office to stop it. You know what? You can just write ahead. Travel there, sign something for another tranche of delivery. So right there at the right in the cabinet meeting, I said, were you able to read the opinion of your own law office? He said no. But Sunny Dominguez was already passing to me yung sa iPhone. So I was reading it while I was talking to him. So, putang ina mo, you're fired. You're lying. And so I fired him. Go out of this office. I do not want to see your face again. Ganon ako ka-stricto. So the cabinet members, they are here. They're only given noon 1 year, 2 years, 1 month. The directors, makinig kayo sa gobyerno, bantay kayo. Directors, you're only given 15 days. And I do not want directors out of their office. You eat your lunch there. Lahat kayong taga-gobyerno. So that you can resume to work immediately. Now, ito ang deal ko sa public. There is the 8888. I cannot stop corruption and wrongdoings if you do not cooperate. You text me, libre yan, 888. You name the public official. Name his sins in that bulletin, and I will take it from there. Do not be afraid about libel. I will take care of that. Gano'n ang gawin ninyo. I have to have your help. Hindi kasi kayo mag-ano, wala yan. Lahat. Police, military, lahat. Pati ako. If you think that may nagawa ako ng masama, sabihin ninyo. Do not be afraid. We are all workers of government. Kayo yung employer namin. We get the money from your pocket to our pockets. Kailan pa ba niyo, since when have you heard me talk about government and officials? I always address everybody, workers of government. I seldom mention Malacañang Palace. It is not a palace, it is just a house of wood. So why should I call it a palace? Give me something like the European style. Yeah, I just called it office. Palas-palas ka dyan eh. And besides, all the rats of Pasig are there. Just beside Pasig River. So yung lahat ng mga daga dyan kung saan-saan, doon naglalanding. It has a wild field. And they are not killed because they are presidential mouse. Ayun ang sabi ng sundalo. Sir, hindi daw pagbaril kay presidential mouse. Putang ina, mabuti pag mouse dito kaya hindi pa pinapatay. Yung tao, kinakatay ninyo. The people's patience is wearing thin. So is mine. I am reiterating my directive to all government agencies from frontline services to our people from womb to tomb to further streamline the respective services to make these truly efficient and people-friendly. We want to ensure that our people receive the quality services that they deserve, minus the delays by the bureaucratic red tape. I expect speedy reforms along this line. We will right-size the national government let us trim the excess fat and add more muscle through the expeditious passage of the act right-sizing the national government to improve public service and security. I therefore urge Congress to pass this at the soonest. For the government-owned and controlled corporations, isa pa kayo, the implementation of the existing salary standardization law pending review in the compensation and position classification system. It's excessive, extravagant, and unconscionable. Salaries and allowances, incentives, benefits, and bonuses across the government-owned or controlled corporations at this time increases will have to pass by my office. And I am not inclined to increase your allowances, bonuses, and salaries at this time. Wala. You cannot do it on your own. You have to direct it to the executive secretary. And I'll just tell you, I am not inclined to give increases right now. Maybe 7 years from now, when Drilon makes it to the presidency. I also appeal to the Supreme Court to seriously consider the national interest and our development goals before issuing TROs and injunctions and critical government projects and cases involving government assets. I am just a co-worker also, ladies and gentlemen. May I be allowed to be also just as frank? Total, wala naman akong inaano eh. I do not mean to offend you. But I cite, for example, the Supreme Court TRO that prevents the Department of Health from distributing subdermal implants which cost the West States of 250 million worth of taxpayers' money. I also note that since its issuance 2 years ago, this TRO has impaired the government's ability to fully implement responsibly planning and family planning and methods in the RH law. It is time that we put an end to the practice of some parties of resorting technicalities in our laws, prevent the government from fulfilling its mandate. Ganito yan, ma'am. Total, this is as good as any other time to talk to you. And may I be understood by you. I am sorry to say this. Really, I am. I do not intend to do it. But if we have to talk about government and our sins, which I am not an exception, or our, delays, lahat naman tayo nagkakamali. Ganito yan. Two things. Wala na talaga akong panahon. I don't know if I can make another SONA again in the future. It's not for me to tell. Itong TRO has been the bane of projects. And even konsonghe yung mga Ayala nag-aawa yan. Just to make you understand na hindi lang kayo. Tapos yung TRO na yan would delay the projects. Now God, and I'm asking Congress, find me a law na kung may bidding naman at it was regular, so dapat ang korte or somebody else should not be messing it up. Because it will delay the projects, which has been the case in the provinces. Alam mo, mag-file yan ng kaso, either it is really the truth, well, the COA will find out, or makihati siya. I will withdraw the case and dissolve the TRO, of course. Then you just give me a few 10%. Ganon ang ugali ng Pilipino. Kaya yung TRO na yan is the bane of our efficiency. And I really do not know whether, I will not attribute anything, ma'am, sa Supreme Court. Maybe I am at fault, so I am sorry if I misquote or I did not have the complete facts. But itong Congress na ito passed the reproduction law. It was already a law na dapat i-implement because we were really going into a family planning. I am not for abortion. I am not for birth control. But certainly I am for the giving of the freedom to a Filipino family decides ng pamilya niya. How many children would be able to support and send to school? Ang nangyari nitong TRO, Sir, Ma'am, may nag-file doon sa inyo, Supreme Court. Tapos nag-issue kayo ng TRO 2 years ago. In the meantime, ang gobyerno nagbili ng medisina, itong subdermal, pati itong mga pills, worth 360. It was not really a reckless purchase. It was in preparation for the implementation of the law. Because hindi naman akalain na mag-TRO, and it has been 2 years. The medicines will expire next month. I told Obial, the health secretary, to find out if there is a nation which would allow it, and i-donate na lang rather than go to waste. Yan ho ang nangyari. I do not blame you. You might have been very busy or something. Wala, ako, I'm just, I am below you actually. Pero, sinasabi ko lang, may isa pa. Huwag na lang itong speech, walang kuha dyan. The Bain, isa pa, itong the Congress and tayo sa gobyerno, including the judges and justice, should understand that by this time, yung lowest bid, yun ang nagpo-promote ng graft and corruption sa ating bayan. COA, you are here. At marama na lang ninyo na may violation ako. Doon sa military, I do not allow them to bid. That's just to buy the weapons from everywhere. Because almost all countries are making arms. The tawag nila small arms industry. We're just fighting a rebellion. True, we do not need the armaments. But dyan sa Marawi, you have to hit hard because they are prepositioned inside building. And until now, we cannot proceed fast because there are 300 hostages. Sabi ko, do not assault. If necessary, we'll just have to wait. Wait it out. But we have to give food. You do not do. I don't care if they are Moro or Christian. But it's not, we do not have that luxury. Kasi pag there's a distinct possibility that we attack, they will just behead everybody. So find a way to do it. If you cannot find a way to do it, then just, I said, wait it out. Diyan ang nakatagal. Baka sabihin hindi marunong itong sundalo. Ako yung nagpipigil. Initially sabi ko ng Bombay, sir, hindi talaga madala sir. Every window is occupied, yung high rise. And we were losing because of the snipers. And in the hari, I said, slow down. Hindi ako nagyayabang, when I was in the camp sa Ranao, while I was being briefed by the military and I was giving the instructions. I heard about 16 pumutok at saka yung bala na weng, weng, weng. Yung mga reporter na doon sa likod ng stage kasi semento yun. We will, if this is the way how we should wait, then we will wait. Unless you can find a solution, somebody here with what's the God, even a horse sense to negotiate for the release of yan. Yung itong isang abalik ko yung lowest bid. Alam mo, gano'n yan, Adre. Ang magbabagsak ng lowest bid, yung walang pera. Ang magbabagsak ng lowest bid, sasabihin niya doon sa, magbibigay po ako sa inyo. Kung sino-sino yan mga opisyal. So, lowest bid, papanaluhin siya. So, with no capital, bibigay siya ng pera. Tapos, bibigay, lahat bigyan niya. Connected wheel, lahat. Pagkatapos yan, if it is 100 million project, he has to pay so many guys. Ang naiwan niya 100, out of the 140 million na lang. So that is the cost of the project. So when I was campaigning for the presidency, I was all over the Philippines. My God, I could see the appropriation. Pero ang airport nila, 3 meters long. So ginawa na lang basketball court. And there is a province here. Hindi kayo. If you look into the records back in time, na puro na complex ang roads dyan. Talagang daan dito, daan doon. Pero pag pumunta, taka, isang daan lang. It's only one highway. That is how corruption destroys the nation. Ngayon, last. I have to say this. Kailangan ko, sir, sabihin, sir. I was elected June 31st. Nag-oath ako. So, July, nagpunta na ako sa AFP Medical Center. Nakwento ko na ba ito sa ito? Hindi pa. Tapos sabi ko, quite familiar kasi I signed a lot of nung mayor ko. Sabi ko, may MR ba kayo? Sabi niya, wala, sir. Sabi ko, may state of the art ba kayo na x-ray? Sabi niya, wala, sir. Sabi ko, may hyperbaric ba kayo? That's the chamber where you are placed inside. If you suffer events, you are nagdi-deep dive ka. But it is also high pressure that can arrest gangrene, especially those who are extracted from the field of battle about 2 days na. Gangrene sets in, so they are placed there, and it can work miracles for a wounded soldier. So, in one upuan, in one setting, you did this. Then I saw the building when I went inside. Yung drainage nila bumabalik. So I said, I'm really surprised. Military men, why would you allow that kind of thing? The dirt is going back to the... How do you expect the sailors the soldiers to get well? Tapos, that's the only building. The oldest. I said, okay, you rehabilitate it. I'll give you a new one in the meantime. But last month, I went to the back of my office, doon sa barracks ng Presidential Guards. So they were groundbreaking for the hospitals of the soldiers. And I asked the soldiers who were there also from Viluna, are you now using the equipments? Alam mo ang sinagot sa akin, sir, tayo-tayo na lang mag-usap, huwag na lang yan sila. Tayo na wala pa. Hindi pa na-deliver. Nabi ko, if this is the way how you treat our soldiers, and they are dying now, and that machine was ordered a year ago, then a cordita, a mutiny is not a surprise to me. Kaya sabi ko kay Ubial, hindi niya kasalanan because of the procurement. Pero ganun kahaman. Secretary Villar, Ubial. Are you here, Secretary? Change the procedure because I will change you. kudita ito. Marami lang. We are losing about, by this time, every day, we lose about 10 every day. Sometimes I say it's a useless warrior. But there is a rebellion. Sabi ko, baski ako ang sundalo niya. When there is a machine already ordered, it could have saved my leg. Tapos wala ma. Putang ina, magkudita ako. And let us get the machine by ourselves. I will not be surprised if it's already in their mind. I'd only be too willing to step down. But as a long-term solution, I urge Congress to thoroughly review the existing procurement laws and come up with legislation that will ensure prompt delivery of goods and services to the people, especially medicines and hospital equipments. Kasi itong military, ay sabi ko, do not mind COA about, I will answer for that. Since COA is here, I limited to 3 places where the military can buy the equipments. Because I'm sure that they will work and they can kill the enemies and make even our forces stronger or in parity with what they have on the other side. Itong armas, sabi ko, huwag mong sundin yan. I will explain to COA why. Huwag mo akong pababilihin dyan sa mga lugar ng South America at lahat dyan sa mid-European, Eastern European countries are also, there are good ones, but I limited them to especially equipments in listening. Kasi kung magbili ka doon sa iba, nakikinig rin sila, sabay na kayo. 3 na kayo nagkaka-communicate. Tawag sa Bisaya, brain. Our laws should support and not impede national development in a speedy and sustainable manner. In our bid to accelerate human capital development, we seek ensure lifelong opportunities by enhancing quality of and access to education training programs. We have sustained investments in higher education and committed to the full implementation of the K-12 Basic Foundation Program. We have widened the reach of skills training and increased the number of out-of-school children and youth who have availed of the alternative learning system. To ensure that Filipinos are given equitable access to quality and affordable health services, we expanded health insurance coverage and benefits. The destitute and the needy, or those who just could not afford hospitalization, can now be provided with free services of government-operated and public hospitals as well as we have started the implementation of the no-balance billing policy. Kaya mga Pilipino na kikinig sa akin ngayon, kapag pa-hospital kayo, ako ang magbayad. Total, hindi man nila ako mademanda. Pasok lang kayo doon, occupy the hospital. Sabihin mo lang, totoo. Pasok kayo ng hospital, sabihin ninyo na sabi ni Mayor Duterte, pagamot daw kami, siya daw ang bahala magbayad. Marami tayong tresurero dito, ilaw. Huwag na yan, yung iba naman, taas na. I have signed Executive Order number 26, imposing a ban on smoking in public places to mitigate its consequences. We want to minimize access to tobacco products and provide a more supportive environment for those who are attempting to quit tobacco use. Alam mo bakit? Tanamaan ako ng, di ba ito, I've been very frank with you. I have a Barrett and I have a Berger's disease caused by smoking. So, ang problema niyan, in a survey in the Philippines all over the world, why is it that the women workforce in an office and the men have acquired in equal, almost in parity in numbers, sick of cancer? That was found out because the poor girl has also to inhale your smoke. Kaya pinahan ko sa Davao. In Davao, you cannot see a person there walking with a cigarette. Foreigners, they can argue with you, say that this is my money, not your money. So then, okay, eat your money. All I will shoot your balls. Investing in the health sector is never a cost to be endured, but an opportunity to be explored. If we have to embrace the vision of a prosperous Philippines, we have to start putting value to our people's well-being, because the success of every Filipino's pursuit in life, liberty, and happiness directly mirrors the fulfillment of our aspiration as a Filipino. I would like to reiterate my personal and this administration commitment to fully implement the Magna Carta of Women to the Barangay level. Tapos na to. To this effect, the government units institutionalizing gender and development program services. We're targeting to increase government spending on infrastructure from 5% of the GDP in 2017 to 7% of the GDP by 2022, amounting to a total of 8 to 9 trillion pesos, or 160 to 180 billion dollars. Infrastructure projects, we will make a few years the golden age of infrastructure in the Philippines to enhance our mobility and connectivity, and thereby spur development growth on equitable in the country. In other words, we are going to build and build. To improve our sea connectivity, we launched 15 brand new ro-ro vessels to ply major nautical routes all over the country. We also opened the ASEAN ro-ro shipping route connecting the ports of Davao and General Santos, Philippines to Bitong, Indonesia. To address the congestion of our seaports, we modernized the ports of Iloilo, General Santos, and Cagayan de Oro, and Zamboanga. We shall complete strategic road and bridge projects, and some of the road sections shall be widened and improved to address the worsening traffic. Alam mo, si Ma'am Grace, you are pushing for, when I became president, EDSA was already horrendous, as it was a horror of the other administrations. Now, I brought in Tugade because Tugade is, to me, a bright boy. He's a billionaire. He was my classmate. Ewan ko, nandito siya. He was a valedictorian in the law class. Talagang husay. But we needed money, and we tried to get your help to raise money. Ayaw naman ibigay. Hanggang ngayon, andiyan pa yung EDSA. Okay lang. At least gumanda lahat. Mag-iwan naman tayo ng pangit. We will not make it all smooth in the Philippines. We leave a little alley known as EDSA as the road to perdition. But anyway, since I could not get any funding, I traveled to China and make friends with them. And the ambassador is just Ambassador Zhao. Thank you for the help. And as a matter of fact, willing, said, if your Congress has no money, we will give you the money. And China has committed to build 2 bridges to span Pasig River, free of charge, so that you will be comfortable in crossing Pasig. Anyway, all the strategic road and transport projects shall go to naught if we cannot free our streets which continue to be obstructed by illegally parked vehicles. Young EDSA na yan, traffic obstructions and undisciplined drivers who stop in the middle of the road and unsanctioned barriers in some areas. I am directing the MMDA and the LGUs of Metro Manila as well as the LGUs of Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, and all other regional centers to ensure the flow of traffic and immediately clear our roads and thoroughfares of all unnecessary obstruction, including vehicles parked on the streets barriers. Sanctioned by government and penalize all traffic obstructions regardless of stature. Well, sometimes hindi mo mano dyan because the police, it's a cabinet member. Pero me, I have not authorized my cabinet member to utilize the low plate. So, it's not for us to. You just use an ordinary plate. Para walang masabi yung tao. And I do not want you parking there when there's no parking. Please, we move. Airports. We are building new airports. We might get some money also from China, and we'll have new airports in the coming days. We are now accelerating the implementation of the communications, navigation, surveillance, and air traffic management system projects, which will result in the on-time arrivals and departures, better manage air traffic, reduce flight operational costs, and safer and more convenient travel experience. Revenues are the lifeblood of government, which enables us to provide for the people's needs. Last May 31st, 2017, we achieved the first steps towards more equitable taxes to fund better services for the people. I commend the House of Representatives for heeding my urgent certification to the tax reform by passing the first of the 5 packages of the Comprehensive Tax Reform Program with an overwhelming 246 votes representing almost 9% of the Filipino people. The fate of the tax reform is now in the hands of the Senate. Ano bang gusto ninyong gawin? Magluhod ako niyan? Well, really, I leave it up to you. We're all Filipinos. If you think that's a waste, fine. If you think it's not good, it's okay with me. I can survive. Next. I call on the Senate to support my tax reform in full and to pass it without haste. Ayaw mo nagpakpak. Wala. Pati si ano, wala. They are not clapping, so maybe si Angara, ayaw rin mag-clap. Bantay ka lang sa eleksyon, tignan mo. These reforms are designed to be poor, especially when the people understand how the revenues will be spent. The passage of the tax reform law is needed to fund the proposed 2018 budget, which I am submitting here and today. The poor and the vulnerable are at the heart of my tax reform. Your support will ensure that the benefits of the tax reform can be felt immediately by them. In the meantime, the Department of Finance and the Bureau of Internal Revenue are strengthening and running after tax evaders. I have directed the Department of Finance and the BIR to accept Mighty Corporation's offer of 25 billion to settle its tax liabilities. After the settlement, Mighty will no longer engage in tobacco business. This will be the biggest tax settlement on record. It will produce a windfall for government which is significant since we have to face the unexpected costs of rebuilding Marawi and Ormoc. The acceptance of the tax settlement offer does not preclude other criminal charges against the company that the BIR may decide to file. A settlement will allow government to avoid a long battle that, as we saw in the previous years, could take years to resolve. Let this be a lesson to others. This administration will spare no one found cheating the government of its due. We view information and communications technology, or ICT, as an effective medium to implement positive and meaningful changes in our society. To this end, my cabinet approved the National Broadband Plan of 2017 to begin the work to bringing affordable internet access to every community and improving broadband connectivity in the country. We have installed free Wi-Fi internet in almost 400 public places around the country. We hope that the public will use to access important information and services. The National Government Portal, which we launched recently, will allow faster and easier delivery of public services and reduce the number of visits of the public for government transactions. The Digital Terrestrial Television Broadcasting Migration Plan has also been launched. The switch to digital from analog transmission will not only give a better TV viewing experience, but also provide effective, reliable information to Filipinos in times of calamities. The government-owned Salam Digital TV, the first Muslim TV in the Philippines, is now already on test broadcasting. There are some of the things that we have done for the past 12 months. A more detailed narrative contained in my report to the people will be released soon. Whether or not my first year of administration was a year of gains or a year of setbacks is not for me to say, but for the people to judge. I defer to the people's judgment. My fellow citizens, much remains to be done. Corruption persists like a fishbone stuck in the throat. It pains and it is disconcerting. We need to pry corruption from government corpus, which is deeply embedded. And we also need to put an end to squabbles and bickerings within agencies focused fully on speedy provisions of quality public service to our people. Believe me, it is easier to build from scratch than to dismantle the rotten and rebuild upon its rubble. Nevertheless, let us work together and lay a new foundation upon which a better Philippines can be reconstructed. Help me build a better tomorrow. Let me end. Gusto ninyo? Uwi na tayo? O gusto ninyo yung kwento? Marami ba yung kwento sa inyo? Let me end by wishing everyone in the language of the old. May God keep us forever sheltered in the hollow of His hand. Salamat.